Welcome to the Middle-Raged podcast, where your hosts, Adam and Keith, get a bit cross about stuff that really doesn't matter. Bless them. Oh, and we should probably warn you that things can be a bit sweary at times.
Hello and welcome to this episode 31 of the Middle Rage podcast with me, Keith A. Pearson, and my co-host Adam Eccles. Good something or other to you.
Hello. Haven't seen you for a while.
I know. Okay, we can report in after our our meeting, our actual in-person meeting at a top secret location in London.
Right. That's right.
And we managed to do it. And of course, we can't go more than 10 seconds without talking about the fucking weather. We managed to organise this on what turned out to be the hottest day of the year.
Yeah, it was insane. What was it, like 35 degrees in central London? That's just ridiculous, right? What's going on? What is going on? But yeah.
And we also managed to find what looked, because we like a proper old-fashioned pub, don't we?
Yes.
And the downside with a proper old-fashioned pub is it has it's proper old-fashioned air conditioning, i.e. windows. Yeah. Leave the door open.
Yeah.
So that was very pleasant.
It was flies and
and tourists.
Tourists, yeah.
Flies and tourists.
Yeah.
So it was very odd. It was a very peculiar experience. But we tried to discuss the whole point of it, or certainly part of the point of it was to sort of discuss exciting ideas for podcasting plans and projects. But one of us just got drunk and but we have a little treat for you. Actually, is treat the right word?
Yeah. We have something for you.
Yes. Yeah. What's the old adage? Under promise and over deliver.
There you go.
It.
Well, we're
just going to under promise, right?
Yeah. But it's something different. So look out for that.
Indeed. Okay.
It's going to be a bit of fun.
Right. I suppose because we're going to have we know that this is going to be a long episode. So we're going to apologize in advance because we've done some cropping.
Yes.
And some culling with your feedback. So we tried to cover off. So we're mentioning everyone who's left us feedback regarding the subject of this episode, but we did have to be a bit strict with our red marker pen.
That's right. Yeah. But we get the gist of it.
Indeed. Right off the bat, we do have a new supporter, I believe.
Indeed. Adrian Letchford. Man, Adrian has joined the ranks of the buymeacoffee.com/middleraged subscribers. So it's, what is it, £2 a month? Gets you this basically.
Yeah, it does.
But now it means that we can pay for this, I suppose. So yeah, thank you, Adrian. That's very kind, and hope you get your £2 worth out of this episode.
I'm sure Adrian and hopefully others will. And also I should stress it does, at some point, and this was part of our secret project in a very unsecret pub in London, was to eventually go, deliver more weekly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
More frequently. Something like that.
Fucking hell, my brain. Yes, to more frequently deliver podcast episodes. So
that's right.
You will be contributing towards that. And as we discovered, £2 buys you, quarter of a pint of lager in a London pub.
Yeah, what was it? £7.79 or something for a pint.
It was, which, wasn't horrific but we weren't in central London. We were out in Westminster and Chelsea, weren't we? Kensington, that was it, yeah. But Kensington's expensive anyway.
Yeah, museums, and isn't there some palace there? I don't know.
I believe there is. I can't remember the name of it though.
Okay.
Right. What else do we have to talk about? Catch up corner.
Catch up corner. Yes. Hang on. It's a bit shitty here, so we should flush it away. But I just want going back to a couple of episodes ago, was it last one? Or I can't remember now.
We're going to have to rename this for this particular segment now, aren't we? It's no longer Catch-Up Corner.
It's Shit Corner, isn't it? Yes. So, but anyway, I was wandering around in London, not just in Kensington, but all over, right? And what I noticed quite obviously is that there is an absolute lack of dog shit on the streets in London. So I was like, well, this is... There's other junk. There's other rubbish and stuff and, paper bags and cardboard boxes and all that sort of shit. But there was no poo. And then I went for my daily walk yesterday and I noticed, huge lumps of poo everywhere again. And it's just, there's quite a difference between rural Ireland, poo saturated, knee deep poo, and London. I know you kind of think, well, central London, maybe that's going to be shitty, like, because where do the dogs shit, right? But
who's having a dog if you live in central London, right? Because you're probably going to be in a flat, aren't you?
Right, yeah. So you shouldn't really have a...
Yeah, it's not nice because they've got to be the sort of... And generally, if you're living in central London, you're working there.
Yeah, so you haven't got time.
Why else would you want to live in central London?
Well, yeah, God knows. But I suppose that's it's the thing then. So, but either they don't have dogs at all. I didn't actually see. I saw a few, maybe. Yeah,
there's cameras everywhere as well. Yes. There's that. So there's, and also it's an etiquette thing, I think, as well. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, this is the point, right? Is that it's possible to have a city without shit everywhere, and I'm just wondering why we here in Ireland are fucking full of shit. It's really annoying. Like it's not just, oh, that's ugly and unsightly. It's because you have to watch every single tread that you walk on, because you don't want to step in it, right? So it's getting quite bad. But
there is something you could do about this. I mean, you could stand as a local councillor on a single policy platform. Make Ireland dog shit free again.
Yes.
I don't know if it's ever been dog shit free, but
probably at some point in history when there was no dogs.
It's not the most catchy of slogans, is it?
But come up with something there. But we get t-shirts, hats.
Yeah. Those big rosettes that politicians wear. I don't know why. When I don't know why that was a thing.
No. We have like a poop emoji and
yeah.
There's something there. But yeah,
keep us posted on that.
I will. But I mean, it just anyway. Another thing is, I mentioned a couple of episodes ago that there was a sign, or maybe it was last episode, I can't remember. But there was a sign here where it's speaking. Again, it's all over the pavements. There's signposts everywhere saying don't clean up after your dog, right? But there's also one that speaks. So I managed to grab a recording of it, quite suspiciously standing near it with a microphone. And apologize for the background noise, but it is on the beach and it was quite windy, right? But I thought you might want to hear.
Please clean up after your dog. Use the bins provided or bring it home to your own bin. Avoid a fine 150 €.
We'll have enough of that. But yeah, so it's repeated in Irish after the English. But yeah, clean up after your dog. So this announces itself in a particular location where it's very busy every minute or so.
Wow.
So just blasting
It's not working though, is it?
No, it's not working at all because there's just still shit everywhere.
Do you know why?
No.
I have a theory. I think that the guy's accent was too cuddly. It's something about the Irish accent that, certainly to the English ear,
it's too friendly.
It just sounds too friendly. What they wanted was someone from Northern Ireland to do it.
Yeah. Clean up after your dog.
Exactly.
You bastard.
Slightly menacing tone. I think that would have worked without getting too sectarian. I mean, I think that would have had a
Jerry Adams or somebody.
Exactly. Just make it a bit more threatening.
Yes.
Can they resurrect the ghost of Ian Paisley?
Yeah.
To do it?
Can pick up your choice. Oh dear. I'm going to get killed now.
Yeah, I'll look under your car tomorrow morning before you go off to Tesco.
Oh, dear. Yeah, anyway.
So, just a final point on dog shit.
Yes.
It's weird how these things happen, right? Because obviously we were talking about it, probably too much, and I'm sure most people agree. They're like sitting there having their lunch. I'm going to listen to the middle-aged podcast now. They're wishing they hadn't. But as I was walking through the village the other day, the village I live in, what is wrong with me today?
In which you abide.
I've lost the ability to actually communicate in English. I'm just throwing random words out. Right. So I was walking through the village the other day, the village where I live, and I walked past a neighbour's hedge, and they had put signs, which I did put up on X and Facebook. And the sign basically is like a warning sign of a dog taking a shit. And it says, "Stop putting your filled dog poo bags in this hedge." And so this is obviously such a problem that these homeowners have had to create. And it wasn't just one, there was like 3 of them. It was quite a long hedge.
But you're thinking a weird thing to have to do. Yeah.
But it also reminded me, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, but there's a massive common not far from where I live, where I had to go running and walking, etc. And there's a car park area near it, and there's a particular tree which has, at one point, I think must have had 20 plus shit bags, or bags of shit, hanging off the branches.
Oh. What? Why?
And you think, well, what? There are bins there for depositing your your dog turds, but it fills up, and obviously the council only empty it once every 3 years or something. Yeah. So people just think, I'm going to what is the point? I mean, I think it's what's happening is people are aware that if they're seen leaving their dog shit somewhere, then they'll get in trouble. So they bag it up. But then that's it. They think that that's their job done now. Yeah. And they'll just sling it somewhere. Or in this instance, stick it in some poor bastard's. You imagine, right? Yeah. You're out there trimming your hedge. Don't.
No euphemism there.
No. And your hedge trimmer just goes through a bag, right? Because this is like a chain going around. It's like a bladed thing, right? So that splatter.
Dog shit.
That's going to ruin your Sunday morning, isn't it?
Fucking right.
And probably ruin that hedge trimmer. You're going to have to bin that now.
Yeah. Because what are you going to do? You can't really wash it. And it's going to be all inside it. And
we were talking about this the other day, wasn't it? When, you take your kids out and then they tread in it. Yeah. And
those shoes are in the bin. Yeah.
You might as well, because
when they get in the car and then
Jesus,
treading into the carpet and on the back of the
okay, right. Nasty. I think we've
I just don't I don't have a dog, and I've never had a dog, but if I did, I would not be obnoxious about it, I suppose. And just if you I think if you have a creature like this, it's your obligation to pick up the shit. So either do that or don't have a dog.
I think this is just indicative of society as a whole, because everyone wants everything to be perfect and every human to be perfect. And they campaign on a myriad different subjects about, how we can be better, do better, all this sort of stuff. But the reality is you've just got to look at people and go, if anyone's just going to let their dog shit in the middle of a pavement, then they're just going to walk away, or they're going to bag it and hang it on a tree or stick it in someone's hedge. This is what we're dealing with, right? If you can't even get people to do basic stuff like that, then basically we're fucked.
We are fucked, aren't we? Yeah. Well, on that,
everything is pointless. That's a nice segue, though.
Yes.
Into the subject matter of this particular this episode, because we're going to go back in time.
Yes. I should have had a sound for that. But
you should have done. It's poor planning on your part. Your wages will be docked.
All right. Well, we'll have this instead. There we go.
Oh, that's nice. Because there is this idea that everything was better back in the day.
Right.
And I won't go down that trope of white dog shit because that's just continuing the theme. But we do sort of say, oh, things were so much better. And we're now asking, this is our, and obviously we're, the point of the podcast is to be a bit ragey. So we're going with the great nostalgia lie.
Yes.
Things we remember with misty-eyed fondness, but were they really just a bit shit?
Yeah. Good. Okay. So we had a lot of listener feedback on this. And so to keep it reasonably short, we'll, as we said, we cut it a little bit, right? So I'll jump in here. So from Emma, my kids think I'm making it up when I tell them about my childhood holidays in the 80s, right? I mean, so that's setting the scene, isn't it? It's childhood holidays in the 80s. And she stayed in a caravan on a farm in Wales, right? So that.
Do you think we should, just for the sake of the benefit of our international listeners, both of them, we should explain what a caravan is, because it's such a uniquely British thing, I think.
I think so. Yeah. You don't really see them in America. It's a trailer, but it's not like an RV. It's much, much smaller, and you pull it with your normal vehicle as a on the back, right, with a tow hitch, and it's like sort of almost circular, isn't it? That sort of, I suppose it's like a gypsy caravan type thing.
Wow, okay. You've gone off on a tangent now. I would have just said it's like a trailer park.
But they're much bigger, right? That's what I'm. They're sort of more like they've got rooms and they're just sort of stretched out and maybe more rectangular. But this is like oval sort of shaped and cramped, and like that's it. You once you're in, that's it. There's just one.
I think there are two different types of caravan holiday. There was the ones where you would take you would own a caravan. That's kind of more middle class, I think.
Right.
And you would tow it to a field somewhere.
Yes. And all your shit would already be in it, right?
Yeah. Or you would go to a caravan park where there were larger caravans that were a bit more like trailer parks, I guess, in America. But they were still small. I mean, it was, you would have like, bunk beds in a room that you if you got out, you were, up against the wall immediately. But they were such a thing back in our day.
Yeah. And for some, I mean, this is the nub of this is that Emma says, looking back, it was probably a bit crap, but I wouldn't change a thing. I'm just thinking, why? Because I would have not. I would not go. Like, and to me, it sounds better to stay at home than to go to this place where it's inconvenient and cold and there's spiders and there's no toilet. You have to go down the road and, into a a Portaloo type building or whatever it is. But and there's no shower. It seems awful. And this is supposed to be a holiday. And to me, that's like you're going to prison for a week.
I was going to say World War II, a sort of prisoner of war camp sort of vibe.
Yeah. So this is a prime example, right? I suppose when you're a kid, it's exciting or something. But thinking back as an adult.
But everything's exciting, right? When you're a kid?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Christmas. Yeah.
Well, that's another one, yeah. People seem to love that though still, but I don't get it. But yeah, there's quite a lot of caravans in this, isn't there? So
Heather also on Facebook. I also remember caravan holidays fondly. Well, do you? Now I'm an adult, actually. Now moving on. Now I'm an adult with my own kids. The tiny beds, seagulls having parties on the roof. All of that is a lot less fun. There we go. I think Heather's kind of nailed it there. It's when you're a kid, everything is fun. When you're an adult, nah.
Yeah. just stuck in this tiny little thing, freezing cold or damp or stinky or whatever, right? It just doesn't sound like fun at all.
And the idea that you can cook in one of those things is just for the birds, because it's tiny.
Yeah.
There's never anywhere to put anything. Yeah, no work surface. I mean, it's just you could probably make a sandwich,
just about,
or toast, but that's as far as you're going. You're not cooking a roast in one of those things, are you?
God, no. There's probably no oven even, but yeah, no, just no. And where would you eat? Like, there's probably a pull-out table or something. You got to wake up before you can, have the table.
And you got to turn it into a bed, haven't you? At the end of the evening, fuck all that.
It just sounds like hell. So I think I've been on a couple of those when I was a kid, and to be honest, I don't really remember much about them at all. But I certainly don't have fond memories of those days. Like, I seriously, I would have just stayed at home if I could, and it would have cost less.
All I remember is sitting in one of these things doing, like, you used to get those puzzle books when you were a kid, and a pack of felt tip pens, and it raining, and avoiding the paedophiles. That was kind of my experience of.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, a lot more back then, a lot more. Right, moving away from holiday camps. What's next?
Right, so Stuart on X. Remember mid to late 80s getting very excited about being bought a Matsui stereo with twin tape deck for Christmas. Yeah, see. Those, I remember those stereos. I mean, you'd go into Dixon's and you'd press all the tape ejects and the ones that would come out really smoothly, those were the bee's knees. But should have come with a free pencil, the amount of tapes it chewed up. Yeah, utter shite. So, agree, right? So all of those really cheapo, nasty stereos, those stacked up systems, and they were terrible when you think about them.
Well, my first ever job, and I did it at work experience, was in Curry's.
Oh, yeah.
And I very quickly learned that, so Matsui was Curry's own brand, basically. Right. It was utterly, if you actually looked inside one of those plastic box things, they were made to look very impressive. They almost looked like separates.
Yes.
But when you actually looked at the back, there was basically empty. I mean, there was just nothing in there. But it was like just cheap components with a sort of plastic facade.
Yes.
Bit like, a lot of people these days, completely empty, but a plastic facade.
Yeah.
That was rather deep. But yeah, they were absolutely shit. Absolutely shit.
Yeah. And probably much more expensive than you remember them being as well. But
you really wanted one though, don't you? When you were like in your teenage years, you were like, oh my God. And then you can imagine Stuart's face on Christmas Day, right? When he's unwrapping this thing and he's thinking it's, I don't know, a Samsung or an AWA or one of the, the
Sony
good quality.
Even.
Yeah. You even settle on a Panasonic. Yeah. And then he unwraps it and he sees the Matsui logo. Imagine his little face. The disappointment. And he has to feign enthusiasm.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
On a similar sort of techie theme, and this is from super contributor, as what are we going to call it? Oh, the Beat the Sweet hero on Facebook. Samantha Fox strip poker on the Commodore 64. Matt's really gone off on one here.
Right.
Those pixelated, I'm not going to say that word, were the best. Anyone who knows who Sam Fox is. Now, this is another concept. You try explaining to anyone outside of the UK that the best-selling daily newspaper in the UK for decades, when you opened it, on page 3, there was a photograph of a young woman basically with her tits out.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, with her tits out, yeah.
And this was
wonder why.
Normal.
Why did that happen? I don't think it does anymore, does it?
I haven't bought a newspaper in years, but I would be staggered if that was still a thing. But it was a thing for decades.
Yeah, page 3
and these young women became kind of like celebrities. They really did.
She did. She had a song, didn't she?
She became Samantha Fox or Sam Fox. she was probably the page 3 girl, the most famous page 3 girl, and she had a pop career. She had a song, I think it was called "Touch Me."
Obviously.
Yes, but she became big. Solved. No, okay. So big that she actually even had a strip poker game on the Commodore 64.
You've made it then.
Oh, absolutely. I can imagine how terrible. I mean, you're going to a shop and buying. And now, Math, did you go into a shop and buy this?
Yeah. I mean,
he then goes on to say it was a great way to learn how to play poker. Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, of course it was.
Obviously. That's no. I'm just looking at it for the classic cars. The porn.
Yeah.
Hedgerow, what was it called? Hedgerow
Grumble.
The
hedgerow porn, yeah. Different times, right?
Yeah. Don't find any
we find dog shit in hedgerows these days.
That's it. No, how times have changed.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's nostalgia for you. You used to find grumble in the hedge. Now it's all shit. Well, there you go.
Literally.
Okay, so then Jennifer on Facebook. As a kid in the 80s, life was carefree. Was it? Mainly simpler. No cell phones and social media, no expensive vacations or entertainment at your fingertips. Oh dear. Matt found plenty of entertainment at his fingertips. Yeah, well,
he did, yeah.
I mean, fair enough. So, but I mean, I hear this a lot. Like, back when we didn't have cell phones and social media and stuff. But then what did you have?
I tell you what we did have, right, which were prevalent, which always seems to get overlooked, is that during the 80s, there were two issues which were kind of high profile. One was the threat of nuclear Armageddon.
Right. That was a good one.
And second one was AIDS.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because both of them had kind of, the AIDS adverts, not to be, there was actually a slimming candy called AIDS in the very early 80s. I don't know if you remember it. Yeah, it's actually spelled AYDS.
Oh, right. No, I don't know.
And what would happen, I think it was like a sugar-free candy. So if you needed like you had a sweet tooth, you would have AIDS. And then you would have an aid. I don't know what the singular was.
Oh, well, they're out of business, aren't they?
It was like a chewy toffee type thing. And it would kind of just take the edge off your sweet tooth.
Right.
And then, of course, actual AIDS, AIDS came along in the, I think it was like sort of mid-ish 80s, wasn't it? Or towards like the sort of latter half. But the TV ads were brutally terrifying. Like, don't die of ignorance, don't touch another human being, otherwise you will die. I mean, that was kind of the theme of it. And you're like, oh my God, not only was I worried about nuclear Armageddon and all of that, but now I have to worry about, and there was all the sort of mythology about it. You're going to get AIDS off toilet seats and door handles and all that bullshit. But that all kind of run rampant because there was no social media in the day, obviously. So people were making crap up and it was just left to...
but it was a big thing. I don't know whether it's gone away or not, but you don't really talk about it anymore, do you? But yeah.
I think it's kind of treated, it's kind of been...
Okay.
Because I think it was Holly Johnson, the guy from the lead singer of Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I think he was diagnosed with HIV in the very...
Oh, really?
Sort of not long after Freddie Mercury died. And I think, he's still going strong. It sounds like it's one of those things that I can't imagine it improves your quality of life, being HIV positive, but certainly I don't think it's gonna kill you now. Which is a great thing, right?
Yeah. Well, again, there's progress for you, right? Yeah, back in the 80s, you'd be dead. But now you're not. So
there we go. So,
so yeah, I don't know if life was carefree. I mean, it's just maybe as a child, your life is carefree, no matter what decade you're in, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you're in the 1800s and you're in a Victorian whatever it is
workhouse,
yeah
maybe not so much then,
not too carefree, but anyway, go on.
And the last one, this is Ella on Facebook, Freeman's and Kay's catalogues. Now, right off the bat, men and women, or boys and girls, as we were back then, have very different experiences with this. Because I'm imagining Ella, so Ella says, picking out things my parents could buy me or not.
No, that's
young
not what
men were looking through the lingerie section.
Yeah.
And for inspiration.
Because there was nowhere else to go, was there?
Not until the Sandfox strip poker game came along.
Yeah.
Up until that, it was catalogues, lingerie models in catalogues like Kay's and Freeman's.
Yeah.
So very different experience.
Going back to the Commodore 64, right? That would have probably been hooked up to the family TV in the living room. So looking at the pixelated things, then anyway. But yeah, Kay's catalogues. Yes. I mean, there was toys and Lego and all that kind of, like, I used to look at the digital watches obsessively.
We will come on to this. Actually, that is, again, I mean, we're segueing really well in this episode, which makes a change because we normally just sort of stumble like a drunk from one section to the next. So this seems like a good opportunity for us to actually sort of start digging into our own what we're going to call these, the nostalgic nuggets of disappointment.
There you go.
There we go.
Got a ring to it.
Okay, so you've got a. I'm going to go slightly contentious one to start with, but you kick us off.
Okay. So I don't get this, but everybody seems to have this latent love for Nokia phones. Maybe because they were your first phone or whatever back in the day, and the battery lasted a week and all of this, right? But they were ugly, difficult to use, difficult to type on, lumps of candy bar shaped weirdness, and they were terrible. I've had lots of them over the years, and I just remember thinking, God, this is so what's the word? Like hampered, just kind of held back from doing stuff. Like it was just awkward to navigate through tiny little screen, and you'd have to type 15 times to get an L or whatever, right? It was just terrible to text on. I suppose they just about made phone calls all right, but like scroll through this tiny screen to find the name or number, and I remember sometime in the early 2000s, maybe like 2001, 2, thinking like, I wish phones were more like, because back then I think that what we did have was PDAs. Remember the PDAs?
Palm Pilot.
Yes, Palms and all of those. I can't remember the era of that exactly, but those things could do emails, and you could tap on you could write on them actually with the little pen thing, and it would sort of understand your writing, or you could tap on a little tiny screen. But that was still crap compared to what we have now. But it was better than the phones that were so clunky. I mean, and all that stuff about them being, really hard wearing and everything, fine, whatever. But, they weren't made of glass. So, of course, they were a bit more robust than the phone that's made of glass. Right? But I don't.
I'm going to push back on quite a lot of this, I'm afraid.
Right.
Because I got my first mobile, I think it was in 92.
Right.
I had an Ericsson.
Yes, okay.
But I did have, over the intervening years, a couple of Nokias.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Do you know what? Firstly, you could put it in your pocket and people could get hold of you. And I mean, if you think about the evolution, right, where you were tethered to a landline.
Oh, yeah.
For somebody to actually be able to make a call, to ring a taxi, right? Now, how many times have you been up until that point out and about of an evening and you need a taxi or whatever, and there's no phone box, or the phone box has been vandalized, as was often the case, or somebody had pissed in it, and was equally often the case. So actually having this sort of freedom. So And I do remember that being kind of like revolutionary. Now, I think looking back through when you compare it to today's phones, now clearly it's different league, but that's when we used to actually ring people.
Well, yeah. But that's what I mean, right? Is that obviously the revolution of mobile phones was amazing and had all kinds of upsides. And, I had one from as soon as I could, right? But what I think people nostalgia, what's the word? Wax nostalgic, something like that.
We'll go with that. Wax lyrical.
Yes. About Nokia phones, right? They're comparing them to, I wish I had that now. Well, no, you wouldn't give up your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever now and have one of those shitty Nokias, right? Would you?
I think they would take the battery life.
Well, yeah, but the battery was probably a lot worse in its technology. It's just that the phones we carry now are supercomputers, right? That it would compare the.
You're going to get techie on us now, aren't you?
Compare the computer that powered, the moon landing, right? The phone, the phone that you have in your pocket is like 1,000,000 times faster than that computer, right? And it's in your pocket, and it's always there with you, and it's able to connect to the world and blah blah blah, right? So it's because that's why it takes a lot more battery to power. And
I'm going to go. There are two elements that I think why this triggers nostalgia. I don't think it's people are not necessarily nostalgic over battery life, or even the fact that was it the 3310 was the indestructible one. There were two aspects to it that people remember fondly. The first one was the changeable covers. Do you remember that?
Oh God, yeah.
And you could go to a local market and, for 99p, you could completely change the color of your phone.
Yeah.
And they come out in different, there's a whole myriad of different, buy like a chrome one or a gold one or whatever, or a bright pink. But the other thing, do you remember being able to customize your ringtone? So you could dial this premium rate thing and you would get, like custom ringtones. And that was like, wow.
It was, but now, does your phone make a noise?
No,
ever.
I have it on vibrate.
Exactly. Nobody,
apart from an alarm.
I don't think anybody uses ringtones anymore. But you can still do that, right? But I suppose what you don't see is the entire back of the magazine covered in tiny little adverts for all these ringtones that you
it was text 0898 123 and then the number of the particular track you wanted to. It wasn't a track, but the ringtone. And it was I'm trying to think of some of the common ones. The Omen, do you remember the sort of signature tune to that? Tubular bells. Obviously there was Christmas related ones. You could have Father Christmas. You could have, I don't know, Santa Claus is coming to town for for the period of December. So that was a thing. And I think people really sort of got into that. And that's maybe where the nostalgic hook comes in.
Maybe.
Because that's not something, that's dead and buried. That's gone now. That was a period in time that we won't get back. But I guess paying 95p for, a bit of Mariah. It wouldn't have been Mariah Carey back then, would it?
Might have been, Could have been,
Slade.
There you go.
There we go, bit of that.
And then you have to hear that because you want to get the most of it, you let the phone ring, don't you? You're not going to answer.
You want people to know that you paid 95p for whatever it was.
I don't know. I want to put them in the bin. I just don't think that they're worth any of the nostalgia that they have.
Okay. There we go. I think that is controversial, but that was your pick.
That's the point, right? That's the point.
Other people maybe will remain misty-eyed. I don't think if I'm misty-eyed about Nokia phones. I think it's probably a bit too recent, maybe.
Maybe.
But what is not recent, in fact, is no more, is dead gone, is the my first pick, which is the Argos catalogue, or the Book of Dreams, as it became known.
The Book of Dreams.
And I think it's fair to say that we all have a certain fondness for this thing as kids. Again, this all comes back to being kids, where we would sit in the run up to Christmas, sort of November-ish. and you would go through it and you would put a circle around everything you wanted.
Right.
But once you sort of journeyed into adulthood, you could kind of see it for what it was. The actual whole Argos experience. And again, for people outside of the UK, Argos was like every town centre had an Argos.
Yeah.
And it was a shop unlike any other, in as much as it didn't have anything on display. It had some stuff on display,
yeah.
but you would walk in through the door, as opposed to the window or a chimney. You would walk in, and on the right-hand side or left-hand side, wherever, there was like a rows of catalogues, and they were laminated, and you would go through it. Yeah. And the first intonations were that you would then find the product you wanted, and all you had to go on was a tiny little picture and a 50-word description of this thing, right? So you could be spending 200 quid on something, and that's all you had to go on.
There's no reviews, was there?
No, literally nothing.
Yeah.
That was so you would then write the catalogue number on a little slip of paper with a pencil that they supplied.
Little stubby pencils.
Stubby little pencil. You would then queue up to go to the till.
Oh, yeah.
And then the woman behind, it was invariably a woman, I think, or a spotty teenage lad, would put this...
type it in.
Type the catalogue number into the till, and they go, sorry, it's out of stock.
Yeah.
So you would then repeat the process.
Go back and find another one.
Exactly. If they had something similar, right? So if it was like a pack of batteries.
Right.
Because batteries were a thing back then, because every fucking thing needed batteries, didn't it? So you would then go back and go, they didn't have the Panasonic ones, I'll get the fucking Sony ones. And then you do this whole thing over again. And then once you've got you've paid for your batteries, you would be given a second receipt with a number on it, wasn't it?
Yes.
If I remember.
Yeah, some kind of
And then
number.
you would stand around with a lot of other people, and there was a counter, a nondescript counter, and every now and again an Argos employee would appear with a box and shout out a number. Yeah. And if you were, it was a bit like bingo.
Bingo.
But and you could stand there for 5 minutes, or in December you could be there for half an hour.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was horrendous. And then you would be, eventually your number is called, they stamp your receipt with a rubber stamp, and you would take away whatever your product. And this was the other element. You didn't get to hold, to physically inspect your thing until you'd bought it.
Yeah.
Unlike a normal shop.
Yeah.
And it was inevitably a disappointment. It was smaller or more plasticky, or just, Yeah. But by that point, it was too late.
Too late, yeah. They did have a return policy, though.
They did 14 days.
Yeah, I've used that a few times, but yeah, no, you're right. Argos is. I used to call it the root of all evil, not the book of dreams, right? Because it's just this huge list of crap. And the other thing is that they print those catalogues, 3 times a year or something, maybe 4 times a year?
Well, that was the element of it that people really got into, is because the Argos catalogue, every house, I would say almost every house in the country had one. When you walked into the store, there was like a pallet full of these bloody things stacked sort of, 4 feet high.
Massive.
So everyone had one.
Yeah.
And it was like the Amazon of its day, I guess. If you needed something, whether it was a pair of binoculars or a
calculator,
I don't know, a calculator, a bit of jewelry, whatever it was, you would go. Your go-to would be the Argos catalogue, and you would sit.
Remember that gold rings?
Oh yes,
yeah.
Oh
but
God,
I did buy
rings.
Calculator watches and whatnot from them back in the day. Yeah. But yeah, it's just. But what I was getting at, they print those catalogues every few months, and
twice a year. I think it was. There was an autumn, winter, and then a
summer, spring,
summer. Obviously,
yes, that's it. But they don't, like, the prices never changed. So that was it. Like, if you were looking at technology usually changes price downwards quite often, right? But no, not in the Argos catalogue. It doesn't. It just sits there.
I do remember at some point they would put stickers on stuff if the price had gone up. So that would be so you'd look at it in the catalogue at home, and it'd be like, I don't know, $9.99. You'd get there and there'd be a sticker over it, and it was like suddenly $11.99. So I guess there was a bit of that, but not wholesale. Can you imagine that job, right, in the store?
Oh, man. 500 catalogues on the, yeah. Fuck's sake.
Someone's got to put a little, it was the laminate ones, I think. They only did the laminate ones, but you've still got to go through and put these stickers on.
Yeah, fuck that. But yeah, I mean, obviously that became computerized, and now they have a screen, and you can see the stock level immediately. So that all improved, right? But still, the concept of Argos I find odd. And I suppose they probably do have some reviews. Like if you go to their website, you probably can see the same products, but now you can also see user reviews.
Yeah.
But back then, no, none of that.
50 words, tiny thumbnail picture, and just one picture, right?
One picture.
That's it. You got no idea what, if you're buying, I don't know, an electronic device, you got no idea what ports it has, or
no,
very limited information, which is why Tandy was a much better place for buying electronics, because you could go and handle these things and see what was what. But yeah, but people do get very misty-eyed about Argos. And actually, but again, it comes back to the childhood thing. And I did, we did have a little debate on Eccles at Facebook about this, because there were certain things that everyone remembers from their childhood, and everyone sort of put this on their Christmas list. The first one was those little a little machine that dispensed tiny bars of Cadbury's chocolates for 2p a go. Everyone kind of wanted one. Why?
Yeah, don't know. Yeah, because it's the sort of it was like a savings bank. Was it a piggy bank or something? But it gave you chocolate.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, hold on, this is a present I've now got to pay for. Right? If I want a bar of chocolate, just give me a fucking bar of chocolate.
Yeah.
Surely that's a better idea.
Yeah.
Without dwelling on that. And the other one was a frosty slushy maker, Mr. Frosty. Yeah. That was it.
I never had anything like that, but I don't know whether I necessarily want. I've seen them in the catalogue, obviously, but I don't know if I ever wanted one, because. Like, do you know how it worked? Does it plug in?
I can imagine it was an absolute ball ache.
It was probably terrible. Like, did it actually freeze anything?
Essentially, what you did is you would make ice cubes, pour it into this thing, and it would kind of partly crush it, I suppose. And then they had these little bottles that made everything look very exciting. But it was just orange squash, wasn't it?
There you go. It's like the bloody soda stream, isn't it? But
that kind of, a ball ache. And the last one would be, I think this was probably wished for by most boys back in the day, and that was a big track.
Yeah. Now, I did have a big track.
Of course,
I remember that. Yeah.
I did not. So middle class.
It was interesting because you could sort of program it to go on a little journey. You'd go forward. Do
people know what it is? You're saying it's like an autonomous vehicle.
It's like a little it was like a sort of space.
It was like a moon rover type thing, wasn't it?
But
sort of small,
shape.
Obviously.
Yeah. No, not obviously. Yeah, it wasn't the size. It was like, but it was big for a little car thing. I don't know,
that size of a shoebox, I'd say.
Something like that, yeah. And yeah, it's just basically a car thingy, but you'd give it instructions like go forward a little bit, go left or turn, and then go forward again, and then turn, do it all back. And I think that was about it, really. I don't know what else it did. Did it do anything else? I don't know. Maybe it made a noise or something.
I think it beeped a bit. I think it was the whole point is it was programmable rather than, say, for example, a remote control car, which you could actually control on the fly. But it was the marketing of the whole thing. It just looks so cool. Yeah. And I would imagine that those things were bought, you would burn through the batteries in about 3 hours, and then it would go into a cupboard, and there it would stay.
Not buying fucking batteries again, no.
Yeah, because you couldn't afford the as a kid. You couldn't buy your own batteries,
no.
And your parents go, "I'm not paying £5 for
3
8
hours of
C batteries or whatever it took."
Because everything took so many batteries back then.
Yes,
and the big ones, the really fat ones.
What was it? The D's, isn't it? They were big bastards.
Yeah. Yeah. And you wouldn't get the good ones, like not the Duracells. No, it would be the bloody the Woolworths own brand, whatever. They'd last about 10 seconds, and then they'd leak.
Oh yeah, and that was your equipment ruined anyway.
Yeah. Nasty acid coming out of the bloody things. Yeah, great day.
So we're going to say the Book of Dreams. As a kid, you could look back at it with a degree of nostalgia, but the actual experience of Argos was shit as an adult.
I think
and
so.
I for one, do not. I just want you go online, tick some shit, and then it turns up.
Well, exactly. Amazon has totally killed Argos, hasn't it?
Argos still exists, but it's now integrated into Sainsbury's supermarkets, so it's clinging on.
Right.
Right. But I haven't purchased anything from Argos for numerous years, and the reason being is most of the time this shit's out of stock. So you think, well, fuck you.
And it's more expensive. I'm convinced that everything there was more expensive than if you just shopped around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You don't need the convenience that it once offered is now gone. The internet killed it. So yeah. So there we go. So frankly, fuck you, Argos.
Exactly. Right.
I like that.
So my next one then. So retro games. Now this is going to be very contentious, right? Because I actually wrote a book about retro games about a chap who was super into retro games, and I know.
But these weren't retro games at the time, were they? They were games.
They were just.
They're
games.
now considered retro games.
That's a good point. Yes. So this is the what do you call it? The Sam Fox strip poker era, where it would come on a tape or a cartridge or something weird.
Yeah.
And obviously you'd have your Commodore 64 or your Acorn Electron or
an Atari if you want to go.
Atari, yeah.
First gen.
Yes, all of those really clunky old console thingies. And of course, you'd have to go to a shop. If you had a gamey shop in your town, I don't think they had what's it called, GameStop or Game.
No, there was normally an independent run by a guy with lank, greasy hair.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I had. And it's like this shop that's sort of off the beaten track in the town.
Yeah.
Down this lane, and the carpet's like knee deep in grease. You know those sort of black greasy spots that the carpet has.
Yeah.
And it's got that sort of smell, hasn't it? The sort of sweat and
teenage boys.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
So nice. You'd go there and he'd have this meager selection of 20 different games, but you got all of them already. These tapes and they were expensive, especially if you're a kid, right? 10 quid or 20 quid for a game. Wow. That's
I think comparative they were very expensive.
Yeah. People forget that as well, right? And now a game is varies, right? But a console game is probably 60 quid or something. But I think that's probably equivalent to what it was, back in the day.
But at least you used to get a physical thing. Now you're paying 60 quid for a fucking download.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, you just get data. But so you'd get this tape or something. Quite often the tape, if it was a tape, then, might take a few goes to actually make that load. Remember, you have the tape deck. Some tape decks were built in, some were not. Some were like external that you had to plug in.
Yeah.
And
mine certainly was.
Yeah, and the speed of it, how it plays, and it was just terrible, right? So it would load this game, and then this game is going to be like Chucky Egg or something. It's just so basic. I mean, I suppose again we're looking at it as kids, thinking, well, they've never seen anything like this before, and it must be awesome, or like what's the one, the Manic Mansion or something like that. Those are sort of the games I'm talking about, where it was just a little blob and it's running around. Just awful. I
have kind of slightly different. I have mixed feelings of this because I used to play. My mum used to work in a cafe, an old transport cafe, greasy spoon type thing. and there were 3 or 4 machines in the back of this cafe, arcade machines. So, but they were like 10p a go, so I couldn't get to play them very often. And we're talking back to some very early 80s here. Things like Galaxians, obviously Space Invaders,
Galaga, all of that good stuff.
Some weird sort of stuff.
Time Portal.
Time Portal. Yeah, drop that one in.
Yeah.
So the advent of the home system was incredible, and I can remember loading up the first game on my Auric Atmos, which is a computer that nobody ever remembers, but it was cheap, and hence the reason I got one. And it wasn't as good. I think it's fair to say.
Not, no.
But I had played the Atari. A friend of mine had an Atari, and I had played that. And actually, some of the gameplay was kind of, although obviously graphics and sound were, pretty simple. The actual gameplay was okay. I think, what was that one, Frogger? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. That's been resurrected a few times, Frogger.
Yeah. But there was a Star Wars one as well, which I quite liked. Very blocky 8-bit graphics, but
so I know that Ian is going to be screaming at the car stereo right now, saying, "No, those were great games," but I'm here to tell you that they were crap.
Would you want to play them? I mean, let's say, for example, you have 2 hours of leisure time a weekend over the weekend, right? Are you going to sit there and play one of those games for 2 hours?
No. So I've set up emulators and stuff for my kids to play.
Same.
Right? And they do. My kids will play those games, and I suppose they have that magic in them that makes a kid attracted to it. But when I play it, I'm like, okay, well, I'll play it for 5 seconds. Yeah, I get it. I remember that, this, that, and the other. But I don't want to play it for more than 5 minutes, right? It's just, I wouldn't.
This is a good test, okay, of how we think about the nostalgic element and then the actual reality of it. So take Space Invaders, right? Yeah. Everyone must have played Space Invaders at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. The sound of Space Invaders does summon a warm glow, right? The actual gameplay is fucking tedious.
It's the same thing over and over again.
It is
getting faster, maybe, but that was it. Yeah.
So I think that kind of sums up our point about this, is that it's the nostalgia is created primarily by the actual soundtrack that sort of sends you back in time to more sort of carefree period, blah blah blah. Yeah. But the actual game kind of sucks.
Exactly. And I think this is the point of the rage, is that your brain only lets you remember all the good parts, and all the bad stuff is filtered out, right? And that's just how brains work.
Yeah.
It's survival instinct. Yeah. So you think all these old things were really good, but nah, they weren't.
Well, I think they were good at the time, but and this is the point, isn't it? That's nostalgia for you, though, isn't it?
We've moved on. We've progressed. Technology has improved. We don't smoke in bars anymore and all of that stuff, right? So we've moved on. Medical technology.
We don't play games on cassette anymore.
No, we don't get AIDS and whatnot. Get pandemics instead, but
yeah, there we go. Bring back AIDS.
All right. Go on.
Right. On a similar-ish theme, I'm going to go video rental shops. Okay. Yeah. Because, again, at the time, they were sort of we're going again back to the very late 70s, early 80s when, home video players became a thing.
Yeah.
And there was that kind of, oh, well, this is new and exciting. We can now get a bus into fucking town. To stand in a store and look at, because this was again, it was a bit like the store that sold computer games.
Yeah,
the very early video stores were not Blockbusters, right? No. They were small independents that had a very small selection.
The greasy floor chewing gum.
Yeah, just not a nice thing, really. But you got to see a movie that you might actually want to watch, rather than the option which was just whatever was on TV at any given time, where you had to sit down at 8 o'clock or whatever it was, and then invariably sit through adverts and so on and so forth. So, or go to the cinema, which was a thing people used to do, I believe. I don't know if they still do it.
I haven't no, for a long, long time.
No, same. So in that respect, it was great. But then we got into this sort of realm of people thinking about Blockbuster in particular. And I think this is the thing, that it became part of the going out on a Friday to visit Blockbuster. And like that is something that people sort of lament the death of that. But when you think about it, right, it was first things, you would go and you would have look at this wall of boxes, wasn't it? They were the actual covers. And if it was a new film that you really wanted to see, they only had a limited amount of copies, so maybe, I don't know, 20 or so. And you get there and every one of them are gone.
Yeah. Because when you buy a VHS movie, by the time it was in Woolworths and you could just buy it, it was what, 10, 15 quid or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not what the video shop pays. They had to pay like hundreds for that tape. And so for them to get 10 copies, that might cost $1,000 or something or more. Obviously they rent it out and they make it back, right? That was the point. But yeah, they couldn't. Little Joe Blogg's video rentals didn't have the budget to buy hundreds of copies, right? And yeah, so you physically go and get it, you bring it to your house, watch it for a couple of days, and then you have to take it back. And obviously nobody else could watch it during that time.
It's
weird, isn't it?
The other thing that used to piss me off, right, was the fines, because they had these two things. Was rewinding the tape after use, right? Why is that something that it doesn't affect you as a store owner, right? It affects the person who hires it next.
Yeah.
But
it's not like the end of the world, is it? Just press
not
rewind.
Really. And why are you fining me? And where's that money going?
It's
ridiculous. But I do remember them. They would check, and I think it was 50p fine if you didn't rewind it. Like, what an arbitrary thing. It's just, and the other thing that also I think people forget when they're looking back with misty-eyed nostalgia is the fine that if you had to work your whole day around getting this fucking tape back before 6 p.m. or whatever it was. Otherwise, you got charged again for it.
Yeah.
And if you ever missed that deadline, that was infuriating.
Yeah.
Because you're basically paying for, I think it was like $3.99, wherever it was, for a film you've already watched.
Yeah, you might as well watch it again, because you might as well get your money's worth, right? And then remember to rewind it.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's insane, isn't it?
But I think it's the Blockbuster thing. It just glorified a lot of the stuff, and okay, there were things that now I do remember going to Blockbuster with the kids when they were little, and they kind of got, again, it's kids, right? They used to enjoy going around and picking their films and popcorn and all that sort of stuff, and you would make something of it. So it was an experience in that respect, but the actual experience for you personally as an adult was kind of sucky, really. It just
kind of crap.
And nowadays you just
you just
touch a screen and you can watch whatever you like whenever you like. Exactly. And you're not getting fined. You don't have to rewind it. You don't need a membership card that you forgot, and then you drive to the video store and you shit, I'm now going to go back home and get my card. It was just it wasn't really. And actually the other thing that pissed me off more than anything else, now I can look back, is how many times did you hire a video based on nothing more than the blurb on the back cover?
Right, yeah.
Get it home, watch it, and think that was
awful. Yeah,
exactly. Because you got no reviews, you got nothing to go on other than the blurb on the back cover. So I would say probably 1 in 4 movies that I hired were just Porkies. Everyone hired that. I think it was mandatory. It's like Dirty Dancing. It's there were some films that you just had to hire for
Police
some
Academy.
bizarre reason. Yes, or the original Airplane. Do you remember those with Leslie? Was it Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah, well, those are good.
They were very good, actually. They've stood up well, I would say.
Police Academy 9 or something, that was not so good.
I'd say the first one was pretty good, but they diminished in quality
rapidly.
at a fair rate. So by 9, I think there was, not good at all. But that would be the kind of thing that you would hire, and you would get on to Police Academy 4 and then go, oh, Jesus Christ, that's £4 at my bank, though. I'm not going to get back, because that was it. You had nothing to go on.
What could you do? Yeah, it's not going to get your money back because I didn't like this movie. No, fuck off. You rented it, mate. That's that. Yeah.
So there we go. Yeah. So no misty-eyed nostalgia from me, I'm afraid.
No, all right, good. All right. So my last point then is old cars. Now, this is going to be contentious, right? But I mean, where do you even start, right? People even deliberately rent like an old-fashioned car for their wedding or something because it looks
even
nice.
Just for a weekend.
Yeah, just because it's, and I'll give you that they did used to look elegant, and if they're well maintained and everything, fine, right? They're lovely, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Ford Escort from 1982 that, you had to pull out. Remember the choke? Do you remember the choke?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You had to, if it was a cold morning, pull out the choke, and that would flood the thing with petrol or whatever it was. And I don't know what the hell it did, but yeah, those cars. I mean, fucking hell, it's amazing they actually ran at all, right? But they're made of rust. Right, they were just so rustified. Like, cars don't typically go rusty anymore, right?
No,
you notice that it's something to do with,
and they start.
Yeah, exactly.
It was always a game of Jeopardy, wasn't it? I could talk about this subject for hours, because I've got a thing where I love, my sort of guilty pleasure is watching these sort of car restoration shows on TV or even on YouTube. I just love them. It's something I find deeply relaxing about them. And I love watching the process of, a couple of middle-aged blokes fixing up an old car and restoring it. I like that. Mm-hmm. But would I ever want to own one of these things? No. Absolutely not. And what I'm noticing at the moment is where the big money is in car auctions is people our age are buying the cars of their youth. We're talking Fords like XR2Is and that type of stuff, Mark 1 Golf GTIs, and they're paying crazy money for them. But even if you go and look at 80s cars, I mean, they were shit.
They were really shit, right? And so I spent, obviously I've said this before, I've always lived far away from anywhere, right? And so as a teenager, as a young 20s person, you had to have a car, because otherwise you're asking Dad to take me somewhere all the time, and he doesn't want to do that, right?
No.
Yeah. So I had to have a car. I had to go to work, right? Let alone anything else. But all I remember then from those days is the endless repairs and maintenance and lying in the rain under the car trying to fix this, that, and the other. My dad would help me, right? But that's all I remember. It was just constantly broken for some reason, and then you take it for the MOT, and your man hits it with the hammer, and half of it rusts and falls away, right? There's no way these gold cars would, pass. Nothing would pass them. So I went through loads and loads of cars because they were just so shit. And only lasted until the MOT ran out, and that was that, right? And yeah, they drank petrol like crazy. They had no power. They probably wouldn't start most mornings, just like, and how many times has the battery been dead and you have to roll it down a hill or get your mates to push it? They were just fucking terrible.
One of my very early cars I bought, I like you, because I didn't have much money. I bought an original Mini, right?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the Mini? And it was the 850, so it was it wasn't even the 1100, the sporty one, which was quite fun. It was the slow one.
Mm.
And it rusted. There was a hole in the footwell where water used to just come in. Now, I actually had to put a towel in it and then wring it out. If it was raining, you had to then put the towel in and then wring it out.
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
And that car epitomizes what you're talking about, because it was the heater alone. I mean, to call it a heater is an exaggeration, because it would take 20 to 30 minutes just to get up to tepid.
You're already home.
You already got where you need to be going. And the one overriding memory I have of cars of that era was the noise. Not just the road noise and wind noise, but the various creaks and rattles that the interior would make. It was just, you drive an electric car, so I'd imagine that's very quiet. But even in a petrol car now, if you're driving along a motorway,
pretty silent, isn't it? Yeah.
Very quiet place. And despite the potholes and bloody speed humps that we have, they're, on the whole, cars are, they're comfortable places.
Yes.
And then there's the thing like, bloody cassette. If you got a car with a stereo cassette player, it was inevitably shit because you had two speakers that were like 4 watts each. Yeah. And it was tinny.
I remember upgrading the stereo in my cars many times.
That was the thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Imagine doing that now. No, not a hope. But remember also you had to take if you did have a decent stereo, you had to take the front off.
Well, because how easy was it to break into an old car?
Yeah. 10 seconds with a coat hook.
Coat
hanger. Dim down, and then you just needed a little knifey type thing but the stereo would pop out. 10 seconds. So your stereo was robbed. So if you took the front panel off, and
they were worth more than the car in most cases.
Oh, much more. Yeah. Because
they were bought by young men would buy a shitty car. Like a Nova or something that was 20% rust, and then they would spend a fortune on a stereo. And then drive up and down the town and the promenade and listening to Milli Vanilli.
Thumping out, picking up chicks. That's what you did. Those were the days there. But those cars were all shit. All the ones I had, and I had lots, all shit, all broken all the time. Mostly spent their time, not moving than moving. There was no. I don't. Looking back at them, they all looked kind of crunchy and boxy and ugly. Anyway, I think I'm not. I'm not talking about a Bentley from 1906 or whatever. Yeah. With just crappy old cars and no.
I was watching one of these TV shows the other day, and they had a maxi. Do you remember the maxi?
No.
Oh, geez, everyone! It was the same era as the Ford Cortina. Okay. What make was the maxi? It wasn't Vauxhall. Oh, it was a British Leyland, right?
Oh, my God!
Right, I mean that's it. Two. And this thing, I think, sold for it may have been $8,000 or something. This is people buying off nostalgia rather than common sense. My mate Dave had a maxi, and again, I think he paid 200 quid for it or something. And I remember it distinctly because it was beige, right?
Oh yeah,
and had velour upholstery, but it was the worst car in the world by a. Honestly, it inevitably wouldn't start, right? So it wasn't a case of, oh my God, I hope it starts. It was, I'm expecting it not to start. It stunk of petrol right inside, right?
Oh.
And it was slow as continental drift. I mean, it was, the 0 to 60 was
a couple of weeks.
Wasn't ever going to happen. If you were going downhill with a tailwind, you might hit it. But it was on every single level. Just awful thing. So now to see people paying good money, thousands and thousands for on the basis of nostalgia. And you can see, right, on this show, after somebody buys this car at auction, then they sort of do a follow-up where you've got this guy in his sort of our age-ish, sort of driving around this thing with a fake smile on his face. And he's like, oh, I remember this was my first car and it takes me back. And And you think you can see the pained smile, like where he's like, I don't remember
how
it
much
being
have you
this.
just spent? Yeah.
Yeah, right. For something which is markedly worse on every level than the actual car that you have at home that you use to drive every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no.
Don't get it. Don't get it.
I just Googled the Austin Maxi and it's
Austin, that was it.
Yeah.
Yes.
My God, it's awful. It is beige, isn't it? Yeah. Oh dear. No.
It was beige. It wasn't, I mean, literally beige and beige in every other way. It was just the dullest car. And I think Dave was probably 21 at the time, 20. So like a young guy. I mean, wherever he used to go anywhere, he used to park it. If you were going to a party or something, you would park it 2 or 3 streets away. So nobody knew that you were turning up in it. It's just an embarrassment of a car. So there's nothing good to look back on.
No. I mean, maybe somebody lost their virginity in one, I would imagine, but
oh God,
in the back,
yeah. I don't think that's any reason. I mean, you know, it's not a reason to want to own one nowadays, is it? But people do. You know, people will buy them just on the back of nostalgia, and they'll pay crazy money if it's in good nick, and hasn't rusted away.
There must be that's probably why, right? Because to find one that hasn't rusted to oblivion must be rare. Like, what did they do? Put it in the garage immediately after buying.
What happens, I mean, it's common in this thing, is that they're bought by an elderly person and then they decide one day they're not going to drive anymore, and it sits in a garage for decades, and eventually the old person, you know, shuffles off, and then the family are left with this thing, and then all of a sudden they realize that this thing's worth, you know, 30 grand because it's you know, a 1983 Austin Metro with only 1,500 miles on the clock. And they go for insane amounts of money. The Austin Metro, or the Mini Metro, I think as it was referred to, that was a car that a lot of people learned to drive in.
Yeah. My dad had
I think
one
Princess Di had one, didn't she? That's
really?
what popularised them, God rest her soul.
My dad had one, and it was permanently in the garage, and that was the one car that he ever bought in his life, brand new, and he said never again. It was an absolute piece of shit from the day he got it, like just absolute shit.
But just ask yourself now, right? When was the last time, apart from putting in maybe windscreen washer fluid, when was that? And if you, assuming you run a car with a combustion engine, when was the last time you opened the bonnet? You just don't, do you? Most people don't know where the bonnet catches, because why'd you bother? They're that reliable.
Yeah.
There's no need.
The nostalgia people are saying, yeah, but you could fix your car back then. But I'm saying, you don't need to now.
Yeah.
You had to then, because, it was broken all the time.
When you were on the side of the A31 and it was pissing with rain in February and dark, right? You're going, oh yeah, this is. I wish I had a.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this tinkering under the bonnet, I think is the phrase there. I love tinkering around under the bonnet. Yeah. I'd rather not. I'd rather get where I want to be in comfort and warmth
with air conditioning
and listening to my favorite podcast or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Rather than standing at the side of a road waiting for the AA.
Thumbing a lift,
Exactly, yeah. Fuck that.
Old cars in the bin.
Thank you. Right. And I've gone again to a sort of technological thing, which, again, people look back on with this nostalgic hue. And that was CFAX stroke teletext.
Oh, yes.
Which I'm trying to explain what that is. It was like the internet. It was on your actual TV. You'd press a button, and it was like a very primitive version of the internet if the internet were powered by a 9-volt battery. It was just black screens full of text, and it had categories, didn't it? Like holidays and weather and news, horoscopes, I think was a popular one.
It's like sort of early, very, very early iteration of what Facebook has become. Like the headline news, the weather, horoscopes, and I don't know, what was there, like a quiz?
Remember there was a quiz, sports,
all of that kind of stuff. But it was like the teletype. It's just text, but then they'd make like images out of these blocks,
pick colours. Yeah, they're only available in about 8 colours, I think.
Yeah.
It's cyan and yellow and sort of lurid green and those types of colours. And it was, they tried, bless them, but I remember the weather maps. And so they would have like a picture of what was supposedly the United Kingdom, but it looked more like John Merrick's penis. It was just this sort of disfigured, is that the West Country, or is that, I don't know what that is.
Wiggly. But
the worst thing was it, right? So I used to follow the football scores on CFAX or Teletext, whichever one. And it would update once every 5, I think it was about 5 minutes. So, but the screen would roll around. So everything was, so if it was like, say you're reading the news, it would be one of 5 pages.
Yeah.
And it would show a page for a period of time, like a minute maybe.
Yeah. And then flick away.
Yeah. And it would go to page 2. So if you didn't read all of page 1, you've got to wait for it to roll round.
Yeah.
Or if you were a quick reader, you'd read it and you'd be like, okay, now I've got to wait for the second page of information.
There's no next and back, was there?
The horoscopes, right? So you'd land on there. Yeah. If you were waiting for your particular star sign, I mean, why else would you be waiting for it? Why do you care about any other star sign other than your own, right?
Yeah.
So if you landed there and it happens to have been the one after yours, you've got to wait there for 10 more pages to load up before it comes back to you.
Yeah. You'd be there for half an hour, wouldn't you, waiting for your stupid thing?
Yeah. But again, I think I'm almost sure this is it. There are CFAX teletext appreciation groups on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
Yeah,
well, how
why?
On any level is that better than the actual internet, right? Even at the time, I remember thinking, this is awful. This is as good as it's ever going to be.
No, I mean, those were terrible. And I mean, I suppose if there was nothing else, then okay, at least it's that something. There's, you could press the special button on the remote, and I bet that was a feature, when you were buying a telly back in those days.
Oh yeah,
I always got CFAX. Ooh, fancy pants. And then you'd have the buttons you'd have to type in the number. You'd remember the numbers, wouldn't you?
Yes, of certain pages. Yeah.
Like what was the jokes page or something?
The jokes page. What a waste of life that was. Terrible. Actually, they did the charts as well, didn't they?
Probably, yeah. But yeah, you'd have to remember the numbers, or there was like an index channel page or something.
Yeah.
100.
That's right, yeah, or 101, one of the two.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean, but no, it was like, that's, again, this is fine for the era, but to look back on that now and wish that you had that, like, bloody hell, no way. Just no.
You imagine with if you get, I mean, I always like to put it the test, give it to your kids and see how they would like it, right?
What the hell is this shit? Yeah.
No, you mentioned the video games. Well, I mean, if a game has got sort of, if the gameplay is good, right? A kid today can look at that and go, oh yeah, it's fun to play. Even if the graphics and the sound are shocking, there's still something about it that has merit today.
Yes.
But a lot of this stuff has no merit, right? It is purely nostalgia. The car's another good example, right? There, on every level, they're crap. Nowhere near as good as a car today. So tell me, what is it apart from the nostalgia that makes them desirable? I don't get it.
No. Yeah, it's
anyway.
Just fond memories. That's all.
Yes, but life moves on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So there we go. So I think it's about time now we unveil our underwhelming but interesting. Are we going to say, we're not going to say treat, are we? We're just going to say this is a thing that we did.
Yeah, this is definitely a thing that we did. Definitely. last Tuesday evening in London, and I'll paste it in here.
Well, here we are. This is a very special happy ending. It's a unique happy ending because for the first time in the history of middle-aged, Adam and I are sat opposite one another, actually outside a public house.
Outside a pub here in London.
In London town.
In London town, yeah.
Now, we should stress that we tried to do this an hour ago, but we were sat opposite a tube station where there was a guy playing... what did he play?
Steel kettle drums?
Steel drums.
Steel drums.
Really badly.
Really badly, yeah.
And frankly, it was driving us fucking insane.
Yeah.
So
he's fucked off now, so...
He's gone.
Took the opportunity.
Unfortunately, in the interim, I personally have consumed 2 pints of quite strong lager. So
yeah.
This may not go down as well as we anticipated due to my intoxication.
But, you know...
But we thought we'd give it a go.
Make of it what you will.
Yes.
This is a very special happy ending. Unusual.
Yes.
And
although we say it's a happy ending because this gives us an ideal opportunity to just gripe about the shit that we just experienced within the last half an hour.
Yes.
For example, I've just been to the toilet and the guy that was stood next to me in the urinals just bolted. I mean, he was handling his penis. And so somebody's just sat at the table next to us, so we have to be very careful what we say. And then just open the door. And I then have to wash my hands and go and find some toilet roll
to open the door
with, right, because somebody else. Now, if I hadn't noticed, if I hadn't witnessed that,
and you take your hands take your life into your very hands. I think in London, where
or in any pub,
the tube and the people, and it's very touristy here.
There's an awful lot of Americans. We have noticed that. In fact, there's more Americans than English people.
More Americans here than there are in America.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah. Dear. Well, anyway, but similarly. I was in the bathroom not long ago, and I have to say, the bloke in the...
Not together?
No.
Okay.
Bloke in the cubicle, I was at the urinal, but the bloke in the cubicle, let's just say that the sound effects were either indicative of him taking the shit of his life or having a wank. And either way, I just don't want to go there.
Okay.
But yeah, London.
That's a happy ending that no one wants to think about.
No, I suppose not.
So we have paid £7.70, just for those of you who are interested, because we know that we talked about this before. Yeah. £7.79 for a pint of Peroni, which I don't think is too bad. I mean, it's not great.
I paid more, but you know.
I mean, where are we? We're in
Kensington.
We're in Kensington and Chelsea, which is a slightly more affluent part of London, we believe. Well, it was until we arrived.
Yeah.
But it's very pleasant. And actually, just on brand, today we believe is the hottest day of the year in the UK. So it's been 35 degrees.
Peaking at 35 or something,
but now we're sat outside a pub, and it's actually, I think it says quite.
It's not too bad. There's a slight breeze. The smell of fags is a bit much, but you know.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, cigarettes. Yeah, for the Americans. Oh dear. Moving swiftly on then, but yeah, it's not too bad.
Do you know what? I used an AI the other day.
Yeah.
To edit something, and it happened to have the word fags in it,
right.
And it wouldn't accept it, and I couldn't work out why it wouldn't accept that word.
Oh, for God's sake!
And then until I realised I had to edit it to cigarettes.
Right.
Okay.
It's political correctness gone mad.
It's AI gone mad.
Yeah. But anyway, hottest day of the year. Just typical because, as you know, I don't do heat. Yeah, and it's fucking hot. So, but yeah, you know, we happen to be in London at the same time, I suppose. So
I'm going to guess that listeners will probably be able to tell that we have had alcohol. Do you think they will?
They might.
Although Adam is now drinking alcohol-free lager. I do not understand
for
the point
medical
of alcohol.
reasons.
The alcohol. What is the point of alcohol-free lager?
Well, it's less.
After you've had lager. I mean,
it's medical reasons. That's why. But it's. I don't want to cope. And water. You know, I've been drinking water all day, so.
I, on the other hand, am on my 6 pint of proper lager.
6? Fucking hell.
It's 6, but it's Amstel though, so it doesn't count. It's like Foster's, but for grown-ups.
It's like in America where you can drink
Bud Light.
light beer all day and never get a buzz.
So in my recent trip to America, I went to see the Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, really?
In Charlotte, which was probably one of the best nights of my life. Okay, it was amazing.
Cool.
Apart from when the only alcohol they served was all you could buy beer-wise was these big fuck-off cans of Bud Light.
Right.
These were like a litre in a can.
Really?
Seriously, they were massive. But it's Bud Light. It's just honestly, it's not lager.
No,
really.
it's piss.
No, we're talking about happy endings.
But,
This is not a happy ending, is it?
Was it at least cold?
It was cold,
Yeah.
and then it started raining. But it was like 30 degrees and raining. It's
That's America for you.
Amazing.
Yeah. Weird.
Great night.
Yeah.
And I think on that happy bombshell, we should probably say, well, thank you for joining us outside the Stanhope Arms.
Stanhope Arms, I believe. Yeah. Gloucester Road.
If you'd have been here, then you could have joined us and we'd have probably bought you a pint, but you won't. So there we go. By the time you get here, we'll be long gone.
Long gone.
Probably barred as well, because it's 7:53, and this is going to be our unique happy ending until the next one, I suppose.
Until the next time we can do this, which is not often.
Yeah.
Because we live in different countries.
And I would imagine that nobody is ever going to want to hear this again.
Probably not. I mean, hoping that you can actually hear it, right? If you can't, it's because of the ambience of London and, I did bring technology, but...
There's a truck.
Yeah. So,
no fire engines,
no
emergency,
sirens,
nothing yet.
No sirens.
Which I'm kind of disappointed about, because I thought that would have really added to it.
Would have proven the point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but nothing. And no one's been stabbed. I thought that would have been another thing.
The night is young.
No one's had a phone stolen, no one's been stabbed. All in all, it's been a bit of a disappointment. Oh, there we go. It's been disappointing.
You want that genuine London experience. Come back
next time Adam's back in old London town, then we'll do this again. Actually, I'm going to guess that no one's ever going to want to hear this again.
Probably not. No.
Okay, fine. On that bombshell, should we fuck off?
Yeah, that'll be enough.
Until next time.
Take it easy.
And there we go.
Yeah. Hope you
that was
enjoyed
our first live broadcast.
It was indeed.
Technically not live, really, was it? Well, it was at the time.
It was live when we were there.
Now, the thing is, I haven't listened back to this. Adam obviously has, because Adam does all the editing stuff. So I'm kind of worried now, because I was, we planned to do this when we first got to the pub. What time did we get there? 5-ish?
5-ish, yeah.
Okay. We then had a couple of beers and then some food.
Yeah.
Food.
Well, this is scampi or something, yeah.
It was, scampi and chips. Awful.
Bit dodgy, but yeah.
And then we ended up having to go outside because it was too noisy in the pub.
Yeah.
And we then had to wait for a table to be clear.
Oh, yeah.
And then we sat down at the table and then got distracted by something else. Oh, no, what it was, there was...
the steel band.
The steel guy, I say steel band. It was one guy playing a steel drum opposite
us. He needed to be shot, and I think probably somebody did in the end take him out.
Rightly so.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably getting on for about 8:30 by the time we actually did it. And by 8:30, I mean, I was like getting on for my 5th pint by that point.
Quite far into the alcohol consumption.
3 of which were Peronis. So anyone who knows their lager will know that 3 Peronis is, you should probably be on your way home by now.
Yeah.
So I can only apologise for whatever you've just listened to.
Wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, good. So with that, what do we have left?
Nostalgia.
Yeah. There you go.
We can look back, misty-eyed. Do you think at some point in the future, people will look back and go, "Oh, do you remember when those 2 guys did that podcast called Middle Rage? I like that for a little while." But now looking back, it was fucking awful.
buymeacoffee.com/middle rage, £2 a month, and you can support this rage. Got to keep
or you can just
going.
do a one-off donation. I think it's a £5, isn't it? The minimum one. Just chuck us a £5, Gav.
£5, Any spare change? Spare change.
Otherwise, we'll start busking outside your house.
Yeah, with
and that you do not want that.
Drums or whatever it is.
If you do the kettle drum, I'll do the lyric. I'll do the singing.
All right, excellent. Yeah.
Because I've got a feeling we're both going to be inept at both. I know that I can't sing, and I don't know. Maybe you have a hidden talent for playing kettle drums.
Oh, not that I know of, but you never know. It's worth a try. Maybe a new career.
So send us a $5 or subscribe. Otherwise, we will pop round and play outside your house.
And we'll end up on YouTube then, won't we?
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
That'd be a good thing, though, wouldn't it? Right? Think of it. It could go viral.
In the bad way, though, viral. In the AIDS way.
That's a nostalgia thing, isn't it? When something went viral back in our day, that was not good, right? That was not good at all. Jeez. Yeah. It's going, but you had to go to the doctors when you could actually go to the doctors. Actually, that's one thing, isn't it? At least you can go to do you remember you used to be able to ring up the doctor and they would actually come out to your house?
Yeah.
That day.
Yeah. You'd be in bed with a Lucozade.
Isn't it weird, right? We touched on all these things that were shit, but quite a lot actually is shitter today, and that's to be one of them. So.
Yeah, there's a lot that's shitter today as well, but that's a different episode.
Indeed, and Holly Johnson is still with us, so there we go. Hasn't done much though, really disappointing.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
good, fair enough. We call it a day then.
I think we probably should.
Okay,
Pub.
Yeah, pub. Cheers.
Bye.